on environment and so many other issues, because you do make an enormous difference in changing the terms of debate about sustainability in our world climate. I congratulate you on the tremendous election result you got, and for all the work you do and have done and will do in Parliament to make people understand you can't go on destroying the planet without there being consequences. You have to have an environmental policy that is sustainable. And under a Labour government, we will, and Alan will be part of that policy. And nobody escapes here. I've got a copy of a well-known, best-selling book, now on its third reprint. And it's called, you've never heard of it before, For the Many, Not the Few. And it says to Zambia, thank you for all you do, and here's to itching next time. Thank you very much, all of you, for coming out this morning. I'm visiting every single one of the marginal constituencies we've got to win to make sure there is a Labour government for the next general election. And this is a key one for us to win, and we're going to put all our efforts into it. After this, I'm going to Bournemouth, because I think we can change the face of the south coast of Britain by the strength of so we will be campaigning everywhere all over this summer, and I'm going to at least 35 marginal constituencies between now and September. And I'm also going to be speaking tomorrow at the wonderful Tolpuddle Martyrs rally in Dorset, which is of course a reminder of where our origins come from, the way that people against impossible odds suffered the most appalling privations because they believed in the rights of working people to join a trade union and organise together and be represented together. They suffered that unions could become strong and effective in the future. We should never ever forget those that went before us and the sacrifices they made, that we might build on those and bring great achievements like the National Health Service, like the principle of council housing, like all the other issues of social justice that we all believe so strongly in. So understanding where we come from is very important if to understand where we're going to and what the process of history is about. I was very proud of the general election campaign that we fought. Very proud because of the numbers of people that became involved for the first time in politics, the numbers of people of all communities, all ethnic groups, all languages, all ages, gender differences, LGBT people, and so many more that all came together to support For the Many, Not the Few. And that, of course, isn't going to change. The commentariat wrote us off. Those that are incredible expert observers of the political scene wrote us off, and you could watch any late night discussion programme that would be simply discussing the size that the Tory majority would be after the general election. But something happened and something changed and something was different. And essentially it was our message in our manifesto that we don't have to go on just being political managers and economic managers. We have to have an objective, an idea, an inspiration, a hope of the kind of world and kind of society that we can live in. We don't have to tolerate the desperate levels of poverty that exist in every major city in Britain. We don't have to say to all our young people, you want an education, pay for it. You want a degree, pay for it. You want to be in debt, your choice. And then they lose out, and they lose out, and the next generation after them loses out. And then we point to the growing levels of inequality and injustice within our society. The way in which the rich have got so much richer over the past past 7 years, and indeed before that, but particularly over the past 7 years, at the expense of the majority of the population. And so we put forward a credible manifesto that was transformational in what it would do to our country and our society, transformational in our view of the rest of the world, where we'd have a foreign international policy based on human rights, peace, democracy and environmental sustainability, and that we would do all this within a clearly costed programme. And John McDonnell and his team worked very hard to set out a costed programme. So we had a manifesto that made it very clear how we would support the National Health Service, how we'd support a National Care Service, how we would support a National Education Service, which industries, particularly rail, water and post, we believe should be in public ownership, public employment. And the cynics carried on analysing what they called the impossibility of our manifesto, knowing all the while what they were talking was complete nonsense, because they clearly hadn't even read it. So I've sent copies to many people. I offer them to anyone. I take them with me wherever I go and say, if you have any doubts, read it and actually understand what it says. And I think you might learn something from it. And you know what? The election results was not the one I wanted. I wanted us to win with an overall majority in Parliament, and had we managed to do that, gained a few more marginal seats, there would now be a Labour government in Britain, and we'd be tackling these issues rather than walking by on the other side. And so, whilst I thank everyone for their support and their activity in the campaign, we've still got a bit more work to do. But we can take pride and heart from the fact that the Labour vote in this general election just gone went up by 3 million, the largest increase in any Labour since the Second World War. And it was in every part of the country, and it was something that brought a lot of people into politics for the first time, particularly those more than 2 million people who registered to vote just before the deadline loomed, and no more registrations were possible after that. Anyone who's still not registered, I urge them to make sure they're registered, because you don't know when the next election is coming. Election campaign. And so I've asked